Okay, please tell me your major.
My major is environmental engineering, and my minor is Japanese studies.
Are you currently taking any Japanese classes here in San Diego State University?
Yeah, I'm currently in Japanese 212 here at SDCU.
So why are you learning Japanese?
I'm learning Japanese just because it's like more like a hobby than anything. I initially started out learning Japanese because I got into J-pop, I think about a year ago, and I was like, oh, maybe I should go try to understand the lyrics a bit better instead of just using a translator. And from that, I just started learning Japanese, and over time it became a hobby and a passion to the point where I enrolled it as my minor.
And how often do you use Japanese outside the classroom?
Outside the classroom, I use Japanese to talk to my friends from Japan or some of the exchange students here at SDSU. But other than that, not as much as I want to.
What do you feel like it's missing from that Japanese classroom that's preventing you from improving Japanese?
Honestly, when I first initially started taking Japanese classes at SDSU, I was highly skeptical because I studied for about 8 months on my own. And after just taking one proficiency test here at SDSU, I was able to test in a lot higher than I expected, which kind of scared me because I talked to other friends who were learning Japanese both self-studying and in the classroom, and they say that in the classroom it's a lot more difficult to understand concepts. But honestly, after taking courses at SDSU for almost a year now, it's not too bad because I'm able to, it's a lot more structured than self-studying, and I get to learn maybe some like grammatical structures or more words that I wouldn't have learned by self-studying.
So do you feel like taking Japanese classes, it was enough for you to improve?
Yeah, I think my Japanese has improved since taking classes. Well, I did study on my own again over the winter break, but I think having these classes and having, I guess, like an actual book to follow and having people that I can at least talk to for an hour a day, every day for like a week, has really solidified my understanding of Japanese, and also just being able to speak faster and more just quickly, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. So you do find other ways to practice Japanese? If yes, how so?
Yeah, so initially when I first started learning Japanese, I used all like free tools online, such as Tay Kim's Guide to Learning Japanese, Beginner's Guide to Learning Japanese. There's also videos on YouTube with creators such as Japanese Amo with Misa, and as well as Kiridali. And those types of guides, and there was many more that I looked at, those all helped me, albeit it was a bit confusing since I didn't have any teacher and it was just me who was learning. I'd say that really solidified my understanding for at least the basics of the language, and it really helped a lot. And I think comparing those guides online for free compared to an actual book, at least for the start, it was really beneficial. And I'd say I'd rather learn from those types of sources compared to an ordinary textbook from school.
Do you use any online sources on your smartphone to help you improve your Japanese? For example, film clips of films on YouTube, social media, or any language exchange apps?
Yeah, I have. I think starting 5 months into learning Japanese, I started using language apps such as Hello Talk or Tandem, and those got me to connect with people from Japan learning English, and I made some really good friends along the way, being able to practice our language, and we went to like talking in Discord and such. And as for media, I have tried using podcasts and I have tried watching a few animes solely like in Japanese without like English subtitles and whatnot. But other than that, I don't think there's any other apps I use. But I should be using more, in my opinion.
So by doing that, do you think you are improving your Japanese a lot more? And if so, how?
By using the apps?
Yes, any online sources on your free time to continue learning Japanese?
Yeah, I think any exposure to just practicing the language, and this goes for any language in general, just the more exposure you have into practicing and talking and speaking and reading and using just the language itself, it's just going to help you over time. It's not supposed to be like learning a language in general is not supposed to be some like easy thing that you can accomplish. This is something that you can do for like years, and over time you just get better at it. And of course, like I said, just using any apps or watching movies or anything, just by a little bit of time spent, will help you in the long run by a lot.
And do you feel like you will use Japanese in your future career?
If I do end up finding an engineering job or like a job to teach in Japan or whatnot after graduation, surely I'll use that because I'll be in Japan. But other than that, if I stay in America, unfortunately, I probably would not be using a lot of Japanese here.
All right, thank you.